now. Uh, an award for best script shared with another one, but still, we like it. How does it feel to have even half an award?
That's a weird question. I don't know. Yeah, good. Yeah, it's it was wrote the script while I was pregnant, and it was a really labour of love, and so to be recognised for the writing is great. Yeah.
When they called your name, Mr. Phoenix, you looked absolutely stunned.
I was.
Mike.
I was. Yeah, it was completely unexpected. Actually, before I came here, I told my girlfriend that it was going to be, yeah, so it was going to be a really good experience because I was going to get crushed, and it'd be really humbling. It'd be really important to go through an experience in which you are unanimously disliked. And that was my expectation in coming here. So this is, I couldn't have imagined it. I really did say that. I'm not just trying to be funny.
And also, he should get some of the script award as well, because we kind of did it together. So I'm giving him half of the script
This is
award.
this is half for you.
All right.
But no offense, Mr. Phoenix, you never got an acting award in your life before?
I what? What happened? Oh, that's right. Yeah, with
About time you remembered?
Well, I wasn't there. We with it was yeah. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
That with Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, again, I'm sorry, just watching you on television, there was a very strange choreography in the way you turned, absolutely not believing, and then it took you about forever to stand up. Were you really that stunned?
Yeah, and then I didn't know because I had seen there was somebody earlier in the night, and all they did was stand up, and so so he just stood up, and then other people went to the stage. So I wasn't quite sure what they. And I thought I'll be really fucked up if I went up on stage, and then they're like, "Oh no, you're not supposed to do that." So I wasn't quite sure. It seems really naive now when I say it. I go like, "What do you mean? Of course you do that." But there was someone I didn't.
Well, it was beautiful to watch, I'll tell you that.
Do you like my shoes?
Loved your shoes.
Yeah.
Question over here.
Hello. We have the same shoes. I can show it right now, but it's true. My name is Diana Martirosyan. I'm from New Armenian magazine. So congratulations, Mr. Phoenix and Ms. Ramsey. I know that directors don't like when you compare your previous work with your new work, yeah. But I really loved. We need to talk about Kevin, and thank you for that movie. Yes, and I want to know how did you create the main character? Did you work? Did you have some prototypes like Travis Bickle from Taxi Driver? Because there are so many reviews and so many critics compare that two characters, and maybe there is so many or some other characters from literature. Thank you.
It's a hard question to answer, really, because I don't think we came thinking, with a preconceived idea that it was like Travis Bickle. Obviously, I think we both. Yeah, that's an amazing movie. But it was creating a character through prep and speaking together, and sometimes thinking it was terrible, and sometimes thinking, let's challenge this and challenge all the cliches, So, the script as well was really created through that process too, So in a way, this is a kind of double award. It's like that was done. I don't know. Do you want to say anything?
No, that was great.
All right. Okay. Thanks. Yeah.
Question over here. Over here. Sorry. Over here.
Hi, my name is Reka Sakai. I'm from Hungary, from Having Extra, and I have a question to Mr. Phoenix. That at least in Hungary, it's possible to read that you were for a while like going back a bit from acting and going into like music and something like. And does it does it bring
Fake
your?
news,
I'm
fake
sorry,
news.
I'm just reading Hungarian media and I write it sometimes as well. So my question is, did it bring your appetite back? And do you have some project where you will act next time, because we really enjoyed your acting.
Oh, thanks. That wasn't real. It's amazing that some people still think it is. So I never lost my appetite, and I don't know what's next.
Hi, congratulations to both of you. I'm Manolis Kranakis from Greece, from Flix.gr. How is it to share a script award, a screenwriter award with a team of two bold screenwriters, Yorgos Lanthimos and Efthimis Philippou?
Well, that's a real honour because I've heard how amazing their script work is, and also I lived in Greece for 3 years, so I feel kind of half Greek, you know. I'm going back to Santorini next week, so I'm looking forward to going back to my second home. But no, that the phenomenal work that they do, it's a real honour to be standing beside that, where this was a really organic script. You can see it's quite a silent one. It's like made in images, so that was, I think, it was interesting. For like something I kind of work a lot with images and performances and stuff, that to get a screenplay award is really cool, you know. Maybe someone will pay me to write a script now, you know. So
You're so cute. It's ridiculous. You're so cute.
Question here.
Hi, Jason Gorber from Screen Anarchy. Jason Gorber from Screen Anarchy and Birth Movies. Congratulations, guys, again.
Bye.
Nice to see you again. Joaquin, at the last press conference, you had mentioned that part of your character was developed based a little bit on that you had a tough childhood, and you saw that reflected in this character sort of dealing with his own sort of demons. I'm just wondering if you can reflect upon how your own personal life affects your character work, and how coming from where you came from to something as sort of glitzy and sometimes preposterous at the Cannes Film Festival, how you feel about being in this environment, sort of where you came from and where you are at now.
I actually like being in this environment. I have to say I've struggled with it at times because it feels so far removed from what we do when we're working. And so sometimes I think I just get kind of embarrassed, feel strange. But it's nice to be in an environment where people are talking about films. And so everywhere you go, through the hotel lobbies or on the street, people are discussing the films. And that's, I think, any place that celebrates and reveres what we do, not us, but films in general, is something that I really appreciate. So I've actually found myself having really having a really good time here and appreciating the experience.
And we hope you're going to have a better time later on. Thanks for coming. Thank you for the
Oh,
evening.
that's it? Oh, we were just getting warmed up. No. Thank you so much.
Voilà, donc c'est terminé pour
So
la
there we
conférence
go.
de
That's
presse de Lynn
the
Ramsey
press
et
conference
de
for Lynn.
Teppo Eraksinen.
Director Teppo Eraksinen for the film called The Ceiling, another short. So 2 prize winners from the short competition. So we have a Chinese director, Kui Yang. His film is called A Gentle Night. And we have Teppo Eraksinen, who directed The Ceiling. And so the Kui Yang is just discovering the writing on his own certificate there.
Je ne vais pas me lancer dans la lecture du titre en chinois.
I won't try and pronounce the title of the film in Chinese, but it means A Gentle Night. So let's listen to what these 2 short directors have to say about their prizes here at the 70th Cannes Film Festival. They're live on TV Festival at the press conference.
With us now are the 2 winners, one mention spéciale and one Palme d'Or. for mention spéciale Kato. Kato?
That's right, yeah.
Is it Kato or
Yeah,
Kato?
Katto in Finnish. Yeah.
Okay, Kato. By Teppo. How you pronounce it? Because I'm gonna.
Yeah, my name is Teppo Airaksinen. Yeah.
Great. And this is mention spéciale du jury and Palme d'Or, A Gentle Night by, and I'll let him pronounce the name.
Chu Yang.
There you go. I must congratulate you, sir, for the shortest acceptance speech ever heard at the Cannes Festival.
I don't know what to say.
There's one word you can't repeat on the mic.
Okay. I'm sorry, but...
No, we loved it. Are you kidding? To both of you, A, how nerve-wracking has it been to have a short film presented in Cannes, and B, to live through today's day until tonight?
Yeah, I've been here 12 days and it's my first time in Cannes, and it's been exhausting to be here 12 days, and because it happens so much here, and you just don't want to sleep. I want to watch all the films, and it's been exhausting, but today I was very, very calm. I don't know why, but I just wanted to enjoy the award ceremony, and it feels like I'm very honored to be here. So I was very calm.
As for
I think it's the same for me. Like my team and I, that we never expected we're gonna get into the festival, so we never prepared anything. And when we received the email, the acceptance email, that we thought, holy shit, what are we gonna do? We didn't have DCP, we didn't have subtitles, we didn't have anything. So at the time, I was in Paris at the Cité Fondation Résidence writing script, so I had to stop writing script to prepare for the festival. And but yeah, it was just great. Like we never expected anything, and we never prepared anything. Yeah.
Were you in the theaters when your films played? Did you?
Yeah, absolutely. And for me, my film, it has a little bit comedy in it also, and it was really, really much fun to hear the audience react the right way, I think. And
At the right time, in the right places?
Absolutely, yeah. It was so much fun.
Did it tell you something about the film that you made that you hadn't actually noticed from an audience point of view?
Yeah, of course, when the actors speak, of course in my film they speak Finnish, and it was the first time that I saw the film with subtitles and with the audience. I saw it with subtitles by my own, but this was the first time with the audience. So, of course, there is the experience. It's a little bit different with subtitles. Mm-hmm. It works kind of different way. So that was the thing for me.
Live and learn.
Absolutely.
No, yeah, we had to go actually. So it's okay. It's not the best experience, I think, for a director to watch film with audiences. You always get nervous and you don't know what to expect. But it was actually the first time I saw the film since I finished the film. I didn't, because we had a lot of trouble making the film. It was so traumatic that after we finished the film, I didn't watch it like at all until like 2 days ago. So, but it was great. I can't complain.
Question here.
导演就是说，导演有没有未来的长片计划 ？My question is for the director: Do you have planned any feature film for the future?
Should I answer in Chinese or English?
Only if you translate yourself into English.
English, like I am writing a feature film right now as part of the Ciné Fondation Résidence in Paris, and it's a feature version of another short film I did like 2 years ago, and I'm hoping to turn it into a feature film, and yeah, it's.
And that's for when?
Oh, okay. I'm hoping to shoot it maybe end of next year if I can get the money to shoot it.
Fingers crossed. Guys, you've had a long day. You're free to go.
Okay.
Enjoy.
Thank you. Thanks. Thank you very much.
Which way?
Et voilà, c'est donc terminé pour la conférence.
So,
de presse
the
des
press
lauréats
conference of the winners
courts-métrages.
for the short films.
Le temps, on le laisse prendre des photos tranquillement et ensuite on va attaquer la
And then
conférence de
will
presse.
be the press
Yorgos
conference with
Lanthimos,
Yorgos Lanthimos.
prix du scénario à égalité avec Lynn Ramsey. Yorgos Lanthimos,
Equal
réalisateur.
winner best screenplay with Yorgos Lanthimos.
Concert sacré que l'on va écouter là, maintenant, tout de
So now, straight away.
Okay. Best screenplay shared with Lynn Ramsey. Mr. Yorgos Lanthimos.
Hello.
Hello. For, let me get the title right, The Killing of the Sacred Deer.
Correct.
Okay. So how does it feel to have a screenplay award, shared or not shared, but just that in a way? Are you disappointed?
No, it takes nothing from the joy. I think it's an award is an award. I guess it's hard to be in the place of the jury where they're trying to decide how they give the amount of awards that they have. Yeah, no, it's the same joy for me. And she's a great filmmaker, so it's great to share it with her.
Now, this is a script that you wrote, that you co-wrote. Is it a regular collaboration or a cooperation?
Yes, I've written all of my last 4 films with Efthimis. So we write together. We're very good friends, and whenever we finish a film, we always start writing or start discussing what it is that we want to do next. So it's a very close collaboration.
Right. Who's the stronger?
You mean muscle-wise or writing-wise?
Muscle-wise,
Writing-wise, he's the stronger for sure. Muscle, I think I can take him.
Okay. I rest my case. Idiotic question, but that was fine.
No.
Any questions, guys?
Good.
Okay. Question here. You'll get there, Chaz.
Hi, Chaz Ebert, RogerEbert.com, and the Chicago Sun-Times. Your films and the situations you present are some so fantastical and far out. I wonder if any elements, and I loved all of them, Dogtooth and The Lobster and this one, are any elements of them autobiographical?
Not that I know of. I think the way we know to approach making films and telling stories is starting from a small idea and then pushing things to extremes. Because for me, it's the only way I can find in order to dig deeper and reveal things about human nature and behavior or situations. I don't know how else I would do that. There are other filmmakers that do it in different ways, but that's how I know how to do it.
Question here.
It's kind of a request, not a question. Do you ever consider to make a remake of your film Lobster, but in Chinese? Because we have the most single people in the world.
I haven't thought of it. It's quite an interesting idea. I'll tell you what, I'd love to work in a different language, and especially one that I don't understand, and work in different places. So already so far, I've made my films in different places. So I don't know to be serious about it. I don't know if I'd ever revisit one of the things that I've done before, but it's definitely an interesting notion for me to be working in foreign languages and in foreign places.
You've seen your film in Cannes, I hope, with the press corps, but also definitely on the evening, the gala presentation. Was there any reaction to the film, either in the evening or in the morning, that surprised you?
I saw it in the evening, because that's where you're made to go. If I had a choice, I don't think I'd watch it at that stage. But if I was surprised, not really. I mean, it's always a very. It's funny how, I mean, you're so stressed when you first show your film, you know, in front of all these people. And for instance, this time, all I could hear was coughing. I think I counted every cough that I heard in the cinema. And I was like, do they really need to cough that much? I mean, they can't hold it in. I mean, so that's all I could hear. I was focused on that. So I don't know. I didn't even see the film. But it
didn't go as far as they hate me, they hate me, they hate me every time they cough.
No, I wasn't that obsessed with it. But I guess, yeah, you can easily get there, I guess, if you zero in so much on coughing.
Okay. Question here.
Hi, congratulations, Yorgo. I'm Polly Likurgu from FlixGR. I wanted to ask you 3 movies, 3 awards here in Cannes, plus the opportunity to be among all the talent in this amazing photo call for the 70 years. What does the festival mean to you? And a very small second question, the reviews were schizophrenic. They loved you, they hated you. Do you pay attention to reviews? Thank you so much, and congratulations again.
Thank you. I guess premiering a film here it's one of the greatest, you know, ways to introduce your film to the world, and I'm always honored to be asked to be part of it, to be invited here. I never take it as granted, neither do I take as granted an award. So it's always a huge honor to be included amongst these great filmmakers. And what was the other question? The reviews. I try not to read reviews too much. I might quickly skip through things. Let's like a bad one, good one, bad one, good one. You know, just have a general sense. Occasionally, I might read a bad one to see if there's anything I can take from it and benefit from. If I find things that I agree and I understand that, you know, I can improve in the future. But in general, I just avoid it and just get a general sense.
Oops. Well, it's been quite a week for you. We'll let you go now.
Thank you very much. I'll let you go too. I think I was the last one.
Exactly. I cannot say get drunk and play.
And then it goes downhill from there. So les jeunes femmes, les loges Caméra d'Or.
And we have the president of the jury of the Caméra d'Or, Sandrine Kimberlin.
Et je pense que c'est à vous, pardonnez-moi, mesdames, c'est à vous, Sandrine, que ira la première question.
Sandrine, the first question is for you.
Comment se sont déroulés les débats à l'intérieur?
What were debates like within the jury?
Les débats ont été passionnés. Est-ce que ça a été une harmonie?
Were debates quite passionate? Was there perfect harmony? Did the blood splatter the walls? blood didn't splatter the walls. Because everyone was well brought up, properly educated, and we got along together very well. We were 7 people, quite a small group. Obviously, we had different views, different tastes. This film seemed obvious as a choice. Of course, there were discussions. Léonore's film was screened on the last day. I think it was one of the very last films we saw. Other films had struck some members of the jury, and then this film was screened and won the prize because it seemed the obvious winner. We all fell in love with it. We adored the whole film, the way it was filmed, the actress, the screenplay, the acting. We loved the directing. There was tremendous momentum in the film. Everything was there in the film. It was perfect. Léonore and Laetitia, were you a bit afraid that your film was going to be screened on the last day? Well, I thought, well, there are only 7 people in the room. You won't have a huge public with all its energy. Being screened towards the end, no, that didn't bother me at all. I just was afraid that there wouldn't be enough people in a big, dark room. We weren't going to be screened on the last day. It was the penultimate day. It was the day on the 70th anniversary that the film was supposed to be screened, but we had to rejig the screening because of the 70th anniversary. We saw some films. We saw 4 films a day on the penultimate and on the last day. We knew that. We planned it. But we were 7 of us in the room, and I was a bit skeptical because we'd seen all the other films in a normal room together with the presentation. We chose her film, and the conditions perhaps weren't optimal when it was screened, so it really stood head and shoulders above all the others. Were you a bit apprehensive at the idea that you would be in competition for the Caméra d'Or? Were you afraid also of the public? Your other film, 3 minutes 22? Well, I was very proud. We didn't think the film would be selected for Cannes. We were flabbergasted when it was chosen for un certain regard. That's very special. It's a great honor. It's true. We had the Caméra d'Or. We didn't think about that. We were very pleased that the film would be seen by a lot of people who hadn't seen it, including the actors. And I was really eager to see how people would react, how the public would view the film. I was a little bit afraid, granted. However, it was a great source of joy. Did you listen to the reactions of the public? During the screening, we were a bit paranoid, in fact. We were afraid that people wouldn't like it. We were afraid of how people would react. We didn't know when people were laughing whether they were making fun of the film or whether they really liked it. And then the lights went back on and people stood up. That was an amazing moment. People were standing up. Some people had left, but a lot were standing up. It was a kind of an ovation like you see on TV. I didn't expect that at all.
Caroline Boudet-Lefort, Petites Affiches. J'ai beaucoup aimé le film.
I very much liked your film. I'm very happy that it got the Caméra d'Or. The opening scene, was it improvised or carefully written ahead of time when the actress knocks on the door? You're talking about the scene with the doctor just after? Right at the beginning of the film. We rejigged a certain number of things in the film, but basically everything was in the screenplay. There was a lot of text, the lines were written, and then we changed some things. I remember that you said that when you gave this to the CNC, people, when they saw there were 4 pages of text, they thought, what are you going to do with that? It can't possibly turn into a film. And that made it difficult to raise funds, because it was only 4 pages long. It was very precise. We didn't improvise in that scene. There was some improvisation with the little girl, perhaps, but basically we used the text. Any other questions? You've had an amazing evening and an amazing week, so now you're entitled to relax a bit and enjoy your evening. Thank you very much.
Andrei Zvagintsev.
Andrei Zvagintsev.
Andrei and Joël Chapon qui va traduire.
And we also have a translator from Russian to French. First question.
Je vous félicite.
Congratulations. What does this award represent in terms of all the films that you have made?
Спасибо за поздравления. Спасибо за поздравления. Что этот приз значит, я сейчас вернусь в Москву домой и буду разбираться, что это такое. Потому что я даже не знаю в табеле, в этой о рангах, что это означает. Но на самом деле это не имеет никакого значения. Пожалуй, кроме одного. Любая награда на фестивале такого уровня – это, безусловно, признание твоей заслуги, твоей группы, и твой фильм отмечен. Это, без сомнения, важно. Вот. Так что я не устаю повторять, что фестиваль класса А, такой как Канны, в особенности, это невероятный трамплин для картины. Это просто такой прыжок вверх. Один сам факт попадания картины в конкурс уже чрезвычайно важен, потому что это сразу все внимание аудитории во всем мире, и картина продается и так далее. А главным образом это для тебя дает невероятные шансы для продолжения движения.
I'll tell you exactly what the prize means to me when I get back to Moscow. I really haven't been able to assess things, but all prizes at all festivals denote recognition. It's recognition for the director, the crew, the work that's been done. Your film has clearly been noticed. And for all top-flight festivals, to have a film that's selected, irrespective of actually getting an award, is a tremendous boost. It's a huge step forward. This means that the entire world will hear about your film. I feel very fortunate. It's great for following films.
Karen Batt for the Huffington Post. Fantastic film, and thank you so much for the experience from the heart. That was fantastic. I really liked how you deftly connected the lovelessness in the family to the situation in Ukraine. And I was wondering if you could comment on how you see the connection between lovelessness and indifference in the family to the war and conflicts around us, how those two connect, how lovelessness is part of that.
Я была особенно поражена именно той связью, которую вы делали между любовью, с одной стороны, и украинскими кадрами, с другой стороны. Короче, можете комментировать отсутствие любви с конфликтами в мире вообще?
Нас главным образом, конечно, занимала другая тема. Тема того, как человеку жить, одному человеку с другим. У Льва Толстого есть прекрасная фраза, по-моему, после того, как он написал Крейцерову сонату, он прокомментировал сам этот текст таким образом. Все романы заканчиваются свадьбой. Вот бы кому-нибудь в голову пришло написать роман о том, что было после свадьбы. Вот это состояние, как мы его называли, скажем так, почти на поле битвы, 12-13 лет позади, и вдруг люди оказываются у разбитого корыта. И они не знают, что с этим делать. И на этом фоне пропадает ребенок, но я не буду рассказывать картину. Вот это было самым важным, что ли, для нас. А вот эта метафора, о которой вы сейчас говорите, она, конечно, является для нас скорее просто неким фоном, поскольку не хочется превращать историю о людях, о их сложном клубке этих отношений, жестких таких, об этой отсутствии эмпатии и сосредоточенности на себе и эгоизме, превращать всего лишь навсего в какое-то политическое заявление. Хотя тот фон, на котором развивается эта история, совершенно очевиден, и мы не могли им не воспользоваться, что ли. Вот как-то так.
Vous savez, en fait, moi, je me suis plutôt attelé à un thème différent, justement, sur les relations personnelles.
I wanted to talk about personal relations. Tolstoy, Leon Tolstoy, said, after writing one of his books, that all great novels end with a wedding. And he said, I'd like to have a novel that talks about what happens after the marriage. After the wedding, you see the family starting to collapse. It's like a battlefield. The couple doesn't get along and people don't know what to do. The child then disappears. I'm not going to tell you the storyline, but the metaphor you refer to is something that should take second place. That's not what I really wanted to highlight in the film. It's the lack of empathy, the permanent egoism, self-centeredness you see in the film which counts. Of course, the political background is clearly there, and it contributes to the perception you have of the film. I want to ask you a question. The film before the beginning of the festival, we were familiar with Leviathan, of course, and there were rumors about the film. It was supposedly, this film, to be more gloomy than Leviathan, yet it was screened right at the beginning. So what was your reaction vis-à-vis this rumor that circulated? And what about when you learned that your film was going to be screened right at the very beginning of the festival?
Узнав о слухах, которые вообще говорят, что это очень мрачно, и плюс к этому фильм показывается в первый день, как вы это все воспринимали?
Ну, почему бы не начать праздник с этого? Мне кажется, почему нет? Честно говоря, у меня нет никакого ответа на этот вопрос, потому что ты ждешь решения устроителей фестиваля, и они тебе объявляют в какой-то момент, что твоя картина будет показана в первый день. И все, ты принимаешь это как факт. Ровно так же, как ты принимаешь как факт тот или иной приз. Вот и все. Главное, что зритель его увидел. Чрезвычайно важно, что в России зритель увидит эту картину уже через 3 дня. 1 июня мы выходим в прокат в России. Вот и все. Об остальных деталях я уже, честно говоря, не думаю. Признаюсь, по совести.
Pour être honnête avec vous,
To be very honest with you, I thought you have to start the party in one way or another, so why not with my film? I don't have any real answer to your question. Of course, you have to wait for the selection first, and then the organizers tell you when they've decided to screen your film. It's just a fact. That's the way things stand. What's really important is that the film lead to a reaction amongst spectators. The film will be released in just a few days.
From Italy, Talk Media Internet, en français. Je vous remercie beaucoup pour
Thank you very much for this film. I really loved it.
On a considéré toute la filmographie aussi un peu différente, mais cet film, c'est pas un film aussi, c'est un film international.
This film is a very international one. It's a story for absolutely everybody around the world. It's not just a narrowly political film. What do you think about that?
Си, сеньор, си. Так и есть. Я уже сказал об этом, что для меня самым важным, конечно, содержанием этой картины является отношение между людьми. И совершенно солидарен с вами. Мне задавал один журналист вопрос, сказал, если бы этот сценарий вы ставили в какой-то... Если бы вы реализовали его в какой-нибудь другой стране, это как, по-вашему, было бы возможно? Я, не задумываясь, ответил, что да. Конечно, да. Она просто приобрела бы какие-то другие черты, может быть, какой-то другой градус или еще какие-то нюансы, которые связаны с каким-то характером национальным и так далее. Но в целом сам клубок этих отношений абсолютно возможен где угодно.
Indeed, as I already said earlier on, for me what's most important is the relationship between people. A journalist asked me the question, could I have shot this film elsewhere? Yes, I could have. But the background would have been different, and the film would have acquired different colors, different nuances, different dimensions. The international dimension would have stood out more. But what really interested me was the relationship between people. You've had, gentlemen, a very busy week, and you deserve some rest. I wish you a very good evening.
Merci.
Andrei Zvyagintsev, le réalisateur.
There we have Andrei Zvyagintsev.
Best Actress, meilleure Actrice, beste Schauspielerin, und
Ah, bien.
Diane Kruger.
Thank you. Thank you.
Et donc, la toute première question.
The first question. You've already been to Cannes, of course, in Tarantino's film, Inter alia. To my great surprise, you say this is the first time that you have shot a film in German. In fact, I left Germany 25 years ago. When I left, I wasn't an actress. I didn't know anyone in the German film industry. I don't have an agent in Germany either. But I had eagerly awaited such a part. Congratulations, first of all. I want to ask this question in French, but maybe you could first give your answer in German and then in French. How will you feel when you go back to Germany? It was a very difficult part to play, particularly in light of current events.
Und ich freue mich so, dass ich diesen Preis für meinen ersten deutschen Film bekommen habe. Mit Fatih Akin, mit dem es wirklich mein Traum war zu drehen, der wirklich meine Jugend auch geprägt hat mit seinen Filmen. Voilà, je disais que je suis si heureux de
I'm very pleased indeed
recevoir ce prix avec
to have received this award for my first film in German with Fatih Akin, who's always been a hero for me. I met him here in Cannes 5 years ago, and I'm extremely proud. How did he make such an impression on you in Germany? He's a superstar in Germany. If you walk in the street with him in Hamburg, people take selfies. He's quite a phenomenon. I noticed it. His films, I remember, I wasn't an actress at the time, but I went to watch his films at the movies. Is it true that you asked to work with Fatih Akin? That's my first question. Second question. He was almost happier than you were in the room when the prize was announced. Has he remained a hero in your eyes? Yes, in fact, I met him in Cannes 5 years ago when I was a member of the jury. And I said to myself, well, this is a wonderful opportunity to meet him because I don't live in Germany anymore. So I went to introduce myself and I said to him, well, if one day you have a part for me, I'd love to do it. And that's how things happened. And then we became steadfast friends. We did a film which is very dear to my heart. It's an important one for me personally. I find it's amazing that a man can write a part for a woman with such depth, gentleness, strength. He forced me, in fact, to come to grips with things within myself, things I didn't even know I had within me. Without talking about the end of the film, even if we know what it is, I'd like to refer to the sequence at the end. Was it in the screenplay that you read from the very beginning? Yes, it was. And you didn't wonder about it? You weren't a bit frightened or apprehensive? No. It didn't make me wonder. I saw the film like a sort of a family film. That's how I viewed it. The terrorist attack that happens in the film is one thing, but for me, the film really talks about a woman who loses members of her family, and she has to learn how to go on, how to live her life when she's lost everything. So for me, this film was an amazing proposal. It was demanding on me. It was very demanding in terms of what would I have done had I been in that kind of a situation. Did you see the film once it had been completed in Cannes or before Cannes? I saw it in December.
Karen Batt for the Huffington Post. Hi. In your film, even when you're playing a woman who lost everything, you have a very palpable, strong core from the beginning. And I know you spoke at the Caring Institute about women in film. How do your feelings about women, strong women, influence how you approach this character and her strength?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I said tonight when I accepted this award that, Fatih showed me how strong I really was. Sometimes I think maybe us women, we don't know how strong we really are. And I love that about the character. She's a victim, and yet she never gives up. She's a warrior, and she will do anything for her family. So, like I said, if you're really lucky as an actor, a role comes along that also changes things for you as a person. And Fatih is a director that forces the actress to walk in her character's shoes, and the borders or the where's me, where's her sort of blur, the lines blur. And I still, to this day, feel like I am changed. I carry her with me. I carry the stories that I've heard with me. And it's a very, very personal film for me. And there will be a before and there'll be an after this movie for me, for sure.
Question over there. Hi, Silvestre
Hi.
Lopez for Mexico again. It's nice to see you again. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Do you consider that Fatih shooting chronologically, it helps to develop the character and win this prize?
I I don't know about the price, but it definitely helped me perform it because it's very rare that that happens. But there were definitely days where I didn't even feel like I was acting because I had prepared for the role so much, and then everything that was happening to Katya, was happening to me. So sometimes I'm just reacting to the scenes, to the sets, and I was able to evolve in my emotions because the movie, happens in chronological order. So it definitely helped me, yeah.
Well, you've had
Ooh.
You've had quite a week. You've
Yeah.
had quite a performance. You have quite a night.
Yeah.
Enjoy the rest of it.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, sure.
J'ai rarement entendu une ovation.
I have rarely heard such an amazing ovation as the one you were given this evening.
Ça a duré surprenamment longtemps, et tant mieux.
The ovation lasted a long time. You have a lot of fans, both in the room and amongst the jury. Well, I hope so. It was indeed very impressive. I didn't expect that at all. I was deeply touched. At the same time, I felt a bit lonely on stage. I would have liked the actors to be with me, and the distributors, all those who were involved in the film. I work as a group. When I make a film, I like to be surrounded by other people. You can't make a film all by yourself anyway. The more, the merrier, as far as I'm concerned.
Hi, congratulations on the film. I love it. A few moments ago, I'm Damian Hoffman from Argentina. A few moments ago, Pedro Almodóvar said that he was very moved by the film. He even cried in the same seat that you are seated right now. He said that it was a film about heroes in France. I want to know your opinion and if you heard before that the expression of Almodóvar. And I also want to know what it was like to work with Argentinian actor Nahuel Pérez Vicayar, the lead actor. Thank you.
I don't know whether people in ACT UP were heroes. They're people who were totally engaged because of AIDS, because of this disease. But they were more than heroes. We were a whole bunch of gays, lesbians, drug users, and we all together had to endure this epidemic for about 10 years. We were victims of the epidemic, and then suddenly, in the eyes of the public, we turned into just bad homosexuals. There was a kind of heroism because people then had to contend with the pharmaceutical companies, the powers that be, and we had to come to grips with ourselves, in addition then to facing all these entities. I have great admiration for all the people I met at the time. Fortunately, some of the people I met are still alive. Since my preceding film, I had worked with Russian actors. I didn't want to make a totally French film. I need to be with people, even people who aren't fully aware of the situation, familiar with it. They can be very powerful. And Nahuel had tremendous potential. He portrayed a militant, and for me this was very important. When Nahuel Pérez Vicayar got angry at the meetings, you could sense that he was sick and he was desperate. I love to mix together different kinds of actors. He's quite Baroque, in my view, whereas Arnaud Valois, for example, is very French. He has a very simple form of acting. I like these contrasts between the actors. That's actually very important. And you have similar contrasts with other people in the film.
Hi,
Bonsoir.
I'm Galia Bogolaski from Culturizarte from Chile.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you also about the character that Nahuel interprets, that comes from Chile, that lived in Chile, has a father from Chile. So I wanted to know why that backstory and what had to do with the story, because it doesn't come up again, and what's it about?
Alors, c'était quand même de raconter une histoire. En fait, c'est vrai que j'ai choisi le Chili.
Of course, I chose
Je voulais pas qu'il vienne d'Argentine.
Chile. I didn't want him to come from Argentina. I don't know why.
C'est un peu un hasard, et c'est parce que j'avais rencontré.
It's a bit by chance, in fact. I had met some Chilean directors in a festival the preceding year in Salonika. There were a lot of directors from Latin America, and I'm not very familiar with South America myself. We talked a lot together about their countries, which I didn't know that well. It was a wonderful memory, in fact.
Hi, my name is Roika Salka. I'm from Hungary, from Havige.
Pardon, excuse-moi, je voulais juste dire un dernier truc.
Might I add something? Sorry. Also, I wanted to show a militant in France who came from another country and who wasn't afraid of speaking out because he's part French. And he wasn't afraid to speak out despite the fact he wasn't born in France. For me, this was a political statement as well.
For me, so I'm Reka Salke from Hungary, and for me, actually, the personal part was also very important besides the political part, because for me personally, it made me really, really strongly urge that you have to be there for the people who are important for you. And I would like to ask you about the mother's character, because I really loved her so much. She was so sweet, so nice, and was it a real person behind it? Because she was a bit in the shade, but I think she was really there.
She's not a precise character, in fact. She's several people, mothers, parents. When we were acting together, there was a lot of solidarity. And in fact, when many people fell ill, we kept seeing the mothers come back to help. And in the film, we realized there was a sort of dividing line between the mother and the other members of the group. And that's what I wanted to show in the film. I said there was a sort of fraternity that arose, and then all of a sudden, when the mother joins the group, she feels very much at home, too. I don't know who invented this concept about gays and lesbians as well, that there's a sort of a break with their family. These are people who are supposed to have parallel lives, a chosen family and a real family, and sometimes these families never meet. But here, these families come together at the time of death. And I find the actress who comes from the theater is quite outstanding. I needed someone who appeared very little and very late in the film, but could convey a lot of messages with very little text, very few lines. For me, that was very important.
My question is that you went through what was happened in the film, and you probably lost someone you know. And I want to know, was it emotional for you to shoot the film?
Il y avait, pardon, j'ai un rapport très particulier.
I have a very special relationship with emotions. The scenes I experienced, and I did live some of the scenes in the film, I actually had to dress the body of one of my friends together with that person's mother. But I felt sort of divorced from emotions. In life, in this kind of situation, you cry. That's what makes you human. But in fact, when you're human, you need to be able to sometimes rise above your emotions. Sometimes you're sort of anesthetized. And I wanted to show this in my film. When I shot the film, I was really afraid that I'd be overwhelmed by emotions, because I can't, of course, be more emotive than the actual actors in the film. And if you're a whole group, you're sort of protected from emotions. Strangely enough, I'm quite cold when these kinds of things arrive. I try to stand back from the emotions. I have the impression, at least in any event, that emotions in the cinema come from this distance and not from people who immediately break down and cry. On the contrary, I think restraint often is more emotional. Thank you.
Humour. And the journalists are all trying to get a snap of that lovely palm. It's got 167 diamonds on it. It's created by Chopin, specially for the 70th Cannes Film Festival. And we have a Swedish director who has won the Golden Palm for a film which is talking about art, amongst other things, which criticizes that rather obtuse view of contemporary art, which we find difficult to grasp. So here is the director, Ruben Östlund, from the conference room at the festival hall for the film The Square, the winner of the 70th Cannes
Palme
Film
d'Or,
Festival.
the Golden Palm, for The Square, Le Carré. Ruben Östlund.
Thank you.
When you didn't hear the name of the title of the film throughout the evening, were you going crazy?
No, I mean, the first thing that I did was turn over to Claes Bang, and but we were screaming then. We were screaming straight out in the air, you know, the feeling of like, okay, this is fantastic, this is surreal, and just hugging him. And I mean, we have been working so long together, and we have been fighting so much on set. Really much, and yeah, it's a beautiful moment. It's beautiful moment.
Okay. Question here.
Jan-Olof Andersson, Aftonbladet, Sverige. We know you have been longing to be in competition for many years. So a typical sports question now, when you even won the first time, how does it feel?
Okay. I think that it is important when you talk about these kind of events that Cannes is that it's, you know, I'm coming also from a tradition that is connected to Roy Andersson, that is in Sweden, and Kalle Boman, that is in Sweden, and they have experience from 50 years back. They were here with Elvira Madigan 50 years ago with a director called Bo Widerberg. And you are in that tradition and that culture, and you have learned a lot of these people. So for me, it doesn't feel like a coincidence. It feels like working in their tradition and working in their spirit. And then you get, of course, super excited and happy to share this with the team. And super and excited also with one of the reasons is that bring attention to the content of the film, because I think that's the main issue of making cinema, is that you have a content that you think is important, and bring attention to that content. There have never been like the first how to say it, but they have never been like the first thing have never been to me like to try to make a good movie. It's about to have a content that you think is important and then bring attention to it. And then you realize when you win the Golden Palm, then you will have attention to the content.
Question over here.
Sputnik News Agency, our congratulations. And I wonder, have you managed to see any film of the main competition? And if you were in the shoes of main jury, what would you like to, whom will you give Palme d'Or or other main prizes? And do you share the attitude towards contemporary art that is shown, you personally, that is shown in your movie? Thank you.
I think that I haven't had an opportunity to watch any other films, but there are a lot of film directors that I respect a lot. I think Haneke said it beautifully once, that everybody expect him to get better and better and more success all the time, and so I would love to share the Palme d'Or with Haneke, of course, but. Yeah, of course not. I'm regretting myself. I don't want to share the Palme d'Or with Haneke. It's mine. Good. Thank you. No, but there are many directors in the competition that I respect, of course, and that makes it even more, that you win it, and. But I will watch it. I was here last year in the jury of A Certain Regard, and I had the time to watch 17 movies. That was very, very helpful for me to do that. It's meant a lot to me as a director, so that was important. But I will watch some of the films when I get home. And then what was your other questions?
About contemporary art, your personal...
No, but I think contemporary art, in the same way as any other area, have to be criticized, that also we can look at ourselves in the movie industry, that when we are maintaining rituals and just doing things over and over again, is it a convention, or are we really dealing with what is going on outside the walls of the museum or outside the walls of the cinema? So I think there are of course, some good things in contemporary art, and one thing I think is the square. The square is something that actually was the starting point of the film, and it's an art installation that me and a friend of mine did, and it exists in 3 cities now. The first one is in Värnamo in Sweden, where they actually built the square in the city, like the city square, the main city square, and 2 squares in Norway. They're now in Grimstad and Vestfossen. So, yeah, the contemporary art can be as any other area, good and bad. And if you scratch the surface, but you have to scratch the surface on any area that you are, any area that you are dealing with. What is under the surface?
Question over there. We'll take 2 more.
Good night. Nicolás Valdés from Uruguay, La República newspaper. Congratulations for your movie, first of all, and for that prize. My question is the following. Can you tell us about a situation in which you think you've entered or you got out of a square to be successful in your career?
I'm not 100% understood the question. Was it that...
The symbol.
The symbol of the square?
Yes. Situations in which you got inside or outside that square.
Okay, yeah, the square in itself is, okay, inside these borders of the square, then we should have a certain kind of attitude towards each other. And no, but I was shocked the other day here in Cannes, actually, because I saw a man that was hit by a car on a pedestrian crossing. And I know, a pedestrian crossing is a place where we have made a very strong agreement that we should be careful with the pedestrians. But the way that they are driving with the cars down here is quite aggressive, at least if you compare it with Scandinavia. Then you respect the pedestrian crossing very, very much more. So that would be an example of when you're stepping out of the square. Another example, stepping out of the square, happened to us when we had a villa here. They got in during the night this week and stole our laptops and our sneakers, and the producer's red pants. Very strange thing to steal. And at the same time, I think you see every day there's people that are really, really nice to each other. And I can tell you a story about in Värnamo, the city where they have built one of these squares. The other day, a person sent me a photo because there was someone that had put like a bottle and a flower in it and a card. And on the card it said, "Thank you to you who helped our son." It was not more than that. But someone have helped their son in some way and put that bottle there and that flower there. And it was something very, very beautiful.
Question, go ahead.
Hi, Ruben. Kyle Buchanan from New York Magazine. I wanted to ask you, your film was one of the last ones that was added to the lineup. And in fact, I think a couple announcements came and went before they mentioned you guys. Rumor mill had it that was due to a disagreement about running time. I wondered if you could clear up those rumors and maybe talk more about the running time, which is long for a comedy.
The running time is that the running time will be increased after Cannes. We will cut the film and make it longer, of course. So the discussion about running time, I really think that we have to ask ourselves, we have no problem to put our children to Harry Potter that is 2 hours, 40 minutes. And as soon as like a content that is like for adults, then we are starting to be scared of a running length that is over 2 hours. I think it's silly, seriously. If you go to the theater, if you go to these places and you watch a play, you have no problem watching something that is over 3 hours. I don't understand the controversy of length when it comes to that. It's of course because of the distributors have a slot time that they have to deal with, and that's definitely okay.
It's all about popcorn.
Yes, exactly. And I mean, I think that if we want to make cinema vital again and alive, we have to allow ourselves to let more complex questions get into the cinema. If the storyline is getting too simple and boring and like, okay, not boring, but if it gets too simple and too focused on one thing, I think cinema will have a problem to keep up with other media to do something that is dealing with contemporary time.
Let's give the guy a break, guys. He's earned it. Thank you very much.